Nityanandam, everyone. In my last video, which was a while back, I told you guys that I'll be sharing my experiences with my Guru, His Divine Holiness, Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, Bhagwan or Swamiji, who I'll be referring to in this video. So, before I share my experience, which happened in July of 2015 in Varanasi, I would like to make a few comments on some things that is being said about my Guru. I would like everyone to know that I stand strong with my Guru. The experiences I have had with him has been real. It was not induced, I was not hypnotized, nor was I brainwashed. So, the first thing I would like to say is that what is brainwashing? And what is a cult? I would say the first exposure to being brainwashed and in a cult is when we are born and our parents start teaching us how we should behave, what we should eat, how we should dress, how we should act, and sometimes who we should speak to and who we should associate with, and what we should do with our lives. Then the next level is when we go to school. Our teachers would tell us how to study, when to study, and all the same things our parents would teach us is like what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat, how we should talk to people, all these things. And then the next level is society. Society tells us how we should behave because we all try to fit into society. Society, if you behave in a different way, you are shunned, you are talked about, you are scoffed at, all these words. So, what is brainwashing and what is a cult? Then in the Gurukul, Swamiji's Gurukul, we have all these kids, all these young kids who have made the decision that they want to be there. They have made their parents, they have insisted to their parents that I want to be there. I want to be Swamiji's kid. I want him to teach me, to grow me up, to teach me. And it's not the kids, it's the consciousness, it's the being that is telling the parents that. Because at the end of the day, this is what we all want. All of us want the same thing: enlightenment, Jivan Mukti, Nirvana, all these things. The same thing, the same thing. Whether we know it or not, we want it. Some of us are fortunate enough to know that we want it, while some of us are not so fortunate to even know it exists. And one thing is that also, I admire all these parents of these kids because these parents have made a sacrifice to stand with their kids, to be there with their kids, and to support their kids. They live in the ashram, they stay there, to be there. Sometimes a whole family would be there. And when we make the decision that we take sannyas, or we want a master to be our teacher and teach us and guide us to enlightenment, then whose words should we listen to? When we listen to satsang, it is the greatest time when the master pours all the powerful cognition into us, helps us to imbibe his teachings, to realize all of it. And sadhana. Before I met Swamiji, I did some. I tried to practice Hinduism and whatever I know, whatever I was taught. I would be up at 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I would do pranayama. I would do some exercise which may have had some yoga asanas. I did puja. But it's only when I met Swamiji that I knew properly what was sadhana and how to do it and what are the requirements of it. He taught me that. But he didn't confine us. Swamiji have never confined us to his teachings only. He have always said, my teachings are not new. And go to all the gardens and pluck the very best of the flowers that you want. Make your own bouquet. That is not brainwashing, is it? No. He's helping us to expand ourselves. And then, one thing I remember, and I look back at it, the first Nityananda Yogam program. Nityananda Yogam is geared at giving adults the experience of Gurukul, living around the Master. And I have to say that I was very fortunate and very lucky and blessed to be a part of the very first program. Swamiji would come early in the morning and leave late at night. And we would be there in the courtyard talking like little kids, running around, eating the meals with him, even cooking some of it. And Swamiji would keep us occupied. He would give us little projects here and there. And it wasn't nothing that, we were forced to do. But it was just to keep us occupied like little kids. Like when in a kindergarten or in school, the teacher would tell you, okay, take out your coloring book, draw a photo, or whatever. So, to me, that was really an experience of being in a Gurukul around Swamiji. So, when you have had an experience like that, and when you understand that the Master, you choose a Master, so that he can guide your life, so that he can give you the teachings. You didn't go to anybody else, you chose one. So you decide that this is the teachings that I want to imbibe. It's nothing new, it's nothing different that another guru will teach, but you chose this one. So then, what is it all about? What is being brainwashed? What is being abused? What is being sleep deprived? Sadhana is in Hinduism, people who is not even in an ashram. I know many people who would be up by 3 a.m., 4 a.m. and practicing pranayama, yoga, different spiritual routines. That said, I would like to share my experience. Now, my first exposure to anything like a guru, really, was reading autobiography of a yogi. And that book gave me a lot of comfort, I must say. Because at the time I didn't know Swamiji. I was going through some stuff in my life, and I was just, I don't know, I just decided to buy it. I don't know why, but I was driven to buy it. I just bought it and I started reading it. But the most I used to hug that book. It gave me so much comfort in my time. But anyway, after that, about 9 months after, I met Swamiji. And we were in the session in Varanasi. And Swamiji was exposing us, was still talking about all the great masters, Sri Ramakrishna, Vivekananda, whatnot. And this is another thing. Swamiji, in all the programs, Swamiji would take us to the different temples and tell us about it, the origins, the people who built it, tell us about the deities. He would enrich us so much. Even when we go to places like Cambodia or Thailand and we go to these temples and the ruins and stuff like that, sometimes we would have like an entire, what you would call a satsang, because he would be talking about everything, about what happened there, who was responsible for building it, all of these things. So we were talking about these great masters, and he didn't mention Paramahamsa Yogananda, and I asked him about him, and he said yes, he is one of the great ones. And I was sitting here, Swamiji was sitting there, and then the screen was there, so I was sitting close to Swamiji. So we were lined up, and in the screen they brought up a photo of Paramahamsa Yogananda and Anandamayi Ma. And when I saw that photo, I went into such bliss. I got such a blast of energy from all of them, because I felt three energies, which was Anandamayi, Paramahamsa Yogananda, and Swamiji. I could feel that three different energies just blasting through me and blessing me. And I was so astounded, I was shocked, because I didn't think that I had real connection with them, but I got their blessings. And it kind of confused me a bit, so I asked Swamiji what it was about. And his answer was, what is there? We are all one and the same. And all I did was just laugh, because I was just in such bliss, and the simple answer he gave with a tone of voice, I was like, okay, Swamiji. So that was my truth, and nobody can take that away from me. And that was one of the magnificent experiences that I have had with Swamiji in his programs. And I would like to say, it was not induced. It was a very real, true experience. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Until my next sharing. Nityanandam.